Hello everyone, my name is Kylen, as you know, if you're here on my YouTube channel, and I am about to start working on a new idea. This is an idea that I wrote down the other day, well, notated in the DAW, or recorded in the DAW even, and I want to take it now and start turning it into something. So let me go ahead and play it for you, so you can see what we have to work with. Okay, so that's what we have going for us. It's sort of very dark and brooding right now, which a lot of my stuff ends up coming out as, at least to start with. So I had this thought when I sat down at the computer, which prompted me to hit the record button, which is, what if we change it into a guitar and move it up an octave? So let's find out. I am going to add the Ample Guitar M Lite plugin, which I actually really like. It has a great sound. I'll play a little bit for you. So you can see it sounds pretty good for a free guitar library. I'm a big fan. I've used it for a couple of projects now. It also does some really cool stuff that we're probably not going to use right off. It does strumming and things. It's got strumming patterns built in. So I'm a reasonably good guitarist, but I'm mostly on the rhythm side. I've never been great on as a lead guitarist. Given that this particular piece would require some finger picking, I am not going to get the guitar, and instead I'm going to let virtual samples help bring my idea to life. It is 100% a valid choice, and you cannot tell me otherwise. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this idea down to our guitar track and mute the piano. So that's step one. So let's hear what it sounds like on the guitar before we do anything with it. Okay. All right, that's a thing anyway. Let's try moving it up an octave. So what I'm going to do, oh, you can't actually see this additional window. So I've loaded up the MIDI editor, and I'm just going to use Reaper to transcribe this up by 12 semitones. Well, that was immensely loud, wasn't it? That was really loud. Okay, sorry about that. I'll do what I can to dim that down before you have to hear that cacophony. Let's see what it sounds like now. Okay, I like that better. That is, but now that I hear it here, I'm hearing something different than that. The rhythm of it is fine, but it's a bit samey. The one repeated note is a little bit repetitive, which can be okay, but in this case, I'm hearing something a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it, and I'm going to see if I can show the MIDI editor. Let me see here. Aha! I totally can. Okay. Would you look at that? You can now see the MIDI editor. Hey, cool, neato. I'm going to take these three notes, and I'm going to raise them a bit, because if I'm thinking right, Okay, let's just change those 3 notes and now see what we get. Okay, that's better. So we know that these 3 notes also need to go up there. I should probably be using the arrow keys because that would cause less problems. So now let's hear our pattern with the B flat up there in this particular little pattern. Okay, we're getting somewhere. But these other notes aren't quite right either. Why aren't they right? Why aren't they right? Why aren't they right, Kylen? Because they don't sound right. They don't sound right. They sounded okay when the idea came into my head the other day and I recorded it. But now that we've moved it to the guitar and raised it an octave, it doesn't sound right anymore. So I'm going to try to fix it to how my ear tells me it should be fixed. So okay. Interesting. The second half is better with the repeated note than the first half was. Why? Again, it sounds right. However, I think there's room for a little more variation in this section as well. No. Nope, that didn't do it. Go back to here. Nope. So, let's listen to the whole thing again and see how we feel about it. I should be looking over here. Okay. I think it's these last ones that are supposed to go up. All right, I'm going to try raising these last 2 up to C instead. Well, unless these are also... maybe they're also supposed to be the B flat. Okay. We are supposed to use the pattern, but in a different place. I got it now. Okay. Now let's listen to it again and see what happens. It still isn't quite right. It's odd that I feel like I want that repetition in the second half. That is admittedly a bit confusing. Nope. I think that's it. I actually think that's it. I'm going to just turn this down a little bit so it stops peaking. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I just hit the note. Okay, so now that we have those, now that we have the pattern right, let's go ahead and duplicate it and hear what it sounds like back to back. I'm just going to disarm this track. Okay. Turn off my metronome. Yeah. Okay. Here is what we have so far, and I am not entirely convinced that this doesn't work. Okay. Okay. There is definitely a gem of an idea here, a spark of an idea. But this is sort of starting to feel like a bit of a, I don't know, almost a Western, and by Western I don't mean Western, but I mean like cowboy hats and stuff, sort of vibe. Why don't we try getting some drums? I'm going to even throw in a little extra sugar here at the very end. Ah, nope. Doom, doom. There we go. Okay, so we're leading into something here. We're building up to something. I think this 16 bars is an introduction to what is the question? What is this an introduction for? So, okay. The beat and the guitar, it has this sort of Western flair to it. Okay, so if we're thinking that way, like this is a random cowboy along the plains on horseback. We've got a man in a black hat and a black trench coat. Oh, sorry, and he is riding along on his way somewhere. I think that is going to help us as we continue to develop this idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go give this some thought and come back with more. Okay, so I bet you're remembering just a few minutes ago when I said that I probably wouldn't be doing any actual recording for what we're working on. Well, I went away, I thought about it, and I thought, you know what we really need? We need a rhythm guitar strumming in the background. So you just saw some footage of me doing some recording. This is my lovely acoustic guitar. It is a Takamine. I love it. I've owned it for many years, and it is my friend through all things. I just put it up to the mic to record it this time. It actually does have a pickup in it, but the battery is currently dead. So let me put this away and we'll get right back to it. Right, okay, so now we are back and I have switched it so you now have a full capture of the display that I'm working on, which means that when I do things like this and bring up the plugin, you can actually see the plugin. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing? Okay. We're improving the video quality during the video. That's probably not a first, but it's something. It's not nothing. Okay, so now we have added a acoustic guitar part to complement our sampled guitar and give everything a little bit more grounding in reality, I hope. Oh, that sounds nice. The open D flat chord. And I think that it complements this quite nicely and continues our feeling of sort of a Western, especially with that drum track. We've really got a slow horse ridey thing going. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run this segment again. And we're gonna add a top line melody. I think at some point we're also gonna go back and make the bass line a little more inventive, but I'm gonna hold off on that for now. What I was thinking while I was away is that since we have a Western flair, why don't we do something cool and make it Weird West? Like a little spooky, a little something that doesn't belong here. And I had a couple of thoughts. The first one I'm going to try is Spitfire's Expressive Strings. So I'm going to add another labs instance, and I'm going to set it here to expressive strings. And the reason I'm going to use the expressive strings is because this little slider here is the dynamics. And on most string libraries that I have played with so far, the dynamics indicate sort of how hard the player is playing the string. In the expressive strings library, that is not exactly the case. Allow me to demonstrate. On low dynamics, we get a string sound. Here's our E flat minor chord. Right? Okay. So, strings. We could voice it like this instead. Ooh, nice, nice. That's good. But if we crank up the dynamics, expressive strings increases distortion. So instead we get that. And isn't that interesting? I haven't really had a reason to use this yet. So right. It's a little different. It's a little interesting. I am going to play in a string part. I'm going to let the DAW run as I fiddle with this and just turn off the camera because you're not going to be able to see me when I'm facing the keyboard because the setup here is, well, quite frankly, it's an amateurish mess. But we do what we can with what we've got, don't we? So, let us give this a try. I'm just going to turn off the camera. I'm going to close expressive strings. We're going to leave it at maximum dynamics to get maximum distortion. I'm going to name this real quick. Okay. And what we're going to do is I am going to try to find a top line for this. So let's see what happens. Okay. There's a bad note. Whoa. No. Not for strings. Okay, let's run that back and see if there was anything good about that. Not all of it's bad. The opening on the 5th is good. I think we're good for about 3 bars. I think we're good for about 3 bars. My apologies. Come back. Come back. We are good for 4 bars. Okay, so our first 4 bars were not the worst. I'm back. That is not a bad opening for this. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the expressive strings for that. Okay, we're gonna go with it for now. So, where does this melody go next, me? That's the question. All right, well, I'm gonna put in this next bar at least because there's something there. Okay, that's simple, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Let's see how that all sounds together. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I think I like it. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna double it with an electric guitar. Is that weird? Probably. But here's the thing. If we want to get a weird West vibe, instead of just a regular West vibe, we need something that is going to tell our audience that they are not listening to a regular Western. And I think maybe an electric guitar with sort of a distorted prog metal sound might be a really good companion to this expressive strings melody. We're going to add a strum session 2. Now, strum session 2 is a very cool plugin. It is an excellent sounding guitar. Very similar to the ample guitar in a lot of ways, but this one is not free. It came to me through Novation Music when I bought my keyboard, my MIDI controller keyboard. This was one of the bonuses that I got with it. I think I like the maxed out 2 with a delay. I think I like that one. Let's hear how it sounds first. Okay. All right, I'm going to drop this one. I'm going to drop the guitar down an octave. All right, let's hear it in octaves. Ah. Now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? Okay, yeah, we're going to need a second idea because right now we have one idea and our listeners' patience, I'm sure yours is already wearing thin. So we have now taken this from a basic little piano riff into something that sounds like the Old West gone electric. And that is pretty good for one day. So, if you've enjoyed this video, I hope that you will hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. And so that when I do more things like this, if you hit the little bell, then you'll get notified when I do more things like this, because I'm looking forward to doing more things like this. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.